players have great chem together, and I'm expecting it to be a good start. Looking at this map, and we got Boozies with a good start coming on this white van, and they're getting pinched in right here. 2 players in the hill. There's a lot of kills coming in right now, and Eaton picks up 2 in the middle, and that's a huge start. There's a huge battle for this P1. All 4 blue players, Maui Chums, getting into this hill. Sink tries to pick up 1, gets taken down. These Dallas Flat Tires are really in a tough situation here. And
all right, so technical issues on our side, but we are back as we have this early setup. This is kind of the back-to-back kind of contested, trading situation that we came to expect here. Pretty close here for this P1 hill, and the early setup is going the way of the Dallas Flat Tires. They did manage to get those spawns while we were on the tower position. We can see the designated push coming out of the side of the Maui Chums. They are doing what they can to break the setup of the Dallas Flat Tires. But, as you say that, really only one player who's going to be attempting to challenge that mid is that number 1 in the screen Crash, as number 4 and Sink also gets taken out. And this hold really dominantly coming through in the way of the Dallas Flat Tires. They have so far picked up all the time on this hill, and they continue to hold on their lanes.
Yeah, I'm seeing a big staggered push out of Maui Chums right here that I'm not really looking for. I wanted a lot of players to be near each other, and right now we're seeing a lot of solo pushes. Like, they're getting the kills now to try and get some good, but Mags gets a huge 2-piece in the hill to keep control. He started off 7 and 2. He is a huge factor right now going forward. Gets another one that's 8. He's on 5 in a row, and he's getting dangerously close to streaks right here. The Crash ends up taking him out, and everybody's rotating now.
Absolutely, and we've set up here now Boozy's P3 point, and this is kind of what we were saying before with having your sub player in the objectives who's able to pick up those crucial 2 and 3 pieces when necessary, and Mags is certainly able to do that time and time again as the setup is going in favor of the Maui Chums. As this nade is so lucky on Crash, he knows he's weak, he doesn't get challenged and taken out. Mags drops in a gunfight that he would have otherwise won if that player didn't challenge out, and as you say, that Zen doing what he can to contest the time being is one shot as the player Sink on your screen does take him out. Mags is also going gyms and challenging, gets 1. There's 2 players down for the side of the Maui Chums. Mags gets taken out, and just like that, a tie game with the scrap likely going in favor of the Maui Chums. However, number 4 on your screen being a nuisance here and fighting for spawns, as number 5 really looking to see why their players are spawning out Laundry. Mags is taken out. Wally challenging on the side gets taken out as well, and the last one alive, Snoop on your screen behind that planter. Can he stay alive and kind of force some of these kills out in these spawns for their team? He gets team shot here, likely. Yes. So unfortunately,
plays that perfectly in the back jungle. These Dallas Flat Tires player at the front now, trying to hold this down. This is a 4-player hit on a 4-player hit right now. We're gonna see who comes out on top. Eaton and Crash pick up 1 each, and this is a bloodbath on the hill right now. Maui Chums picks up 3, and 2 is the last person remaining in this small room. He gets 1, and Eaton picks up the last one. And Maui Chums are set up to get a lot of time right here, and all the players are shooting straight.
They got the early setup for that P3. They got the early setup here in this P4. The beginning of the time on both of those hills, as well as the scraps, did go in the favor of the Maui Chums. As it seems like the contestion's still going through. Boozies takes up the last player, and the scrap does go in their favor. And as we head into this P5, we are going to see the Maui Chums up by about 30 here, 90-60.
Yeah, a lot of Dallas Flat Tires player in that P5 hill. They're going to get that rotation unless Crash picks up and disrupts everything. He does not. There's 3 in the middle right here. They're going to take out this last player Kitchen unless Boozies makes a huge play. But now they're kind of getting hits on all sides, and unless they can have great awareness, they can, keep this hill going, which they do. They're getting those points, and they're holding good. This is a great time to pull this game back into, grasping distance for Dallas Flat Tires. They're only down 8 now, and they're going to, if they can hold the rest of the time, they're going to have a great, lead coming out of the first rotation side of the game, which is what you want when you have good side. They're going to have just the right amount of score to, have some breathing room going into the next set of hills.
Absolutely, and what would have, in most situations is otherwise pretty scrappy P5 hill. Dallas Flat Tires does an incredible job. Remember, when we head into this hill, they were only at 60 points. They managed to get a full 55, we'll say, after these last few seconds tick down. on a 60-second point hill. So the full time really going in favor of the Dallas Flat Tires is after the first rotation of hills, we do see a 20-point lead, a 30-point lead on the side of the Dallas Flat Tires.
Yeah, but, Maui Chums has all of this map control going into the first P1, and, Eaton's going to know where all of them are after that. They know exactly where they want to be, and they basically just started off this side of rotation 2 on good side of the map. They're picking up these kills, and they're picking them up swiftly. They know where everybody is on the map, and right now, Sync is playing like a beast. He may only be 16 and 14, but when you watch his POV, it's like he knows where all these players are. He's just ready for all these gunfights, and he's getting the ones that matter, too. 17 and 14. Can he pick up this last one? He does. He's holding down that hard point with a vengeance right now.
Absolutely, and we noticed that 17 and 14 on the side of Sync. I do want to point out Uzi as well, going off to 14 and 9, a minute and 20 seconds in hill. And if you look at the spread, that's nearly all of the points that Maui Chums has. So he's absolutely going off in hill. And as we say that, we rotate into this P2 hill again. Another early setup on the side of Dallas Flat Tires as they continue to get these early breaks and set up. Crash gets a flank around back here. Does pick up the time for the time being as Zen pushes through the front, gets the kill.
And that solo push might look bad when you look at it at first glance, but it really just takes away a lot of time from Dallas Flat Tires and kind of, it messes up their whole situation they got going. But, as I say that, they're, back in spawn again. Wally's picking up kills, and they're trying to push together. They need to get some points off of this. If they can't get a good rotation, which I'm seeing at a player 1, which I like, they're going to be in a rough spot here. But, this money hill down in garage, they can get a lot of points coming through on this. I might expect them to get a full 60 here, and we might end up looking at, like 190 to, 160. It might not look so great for Dallas after this hill, but, I'm expecting a huge break coming from Dallas. They need it right here if they want to keep this game alive.
Right, and again, a huge hold for the side of Dallas Flat Tires, getting nearly half of those points, now up by about 40. The early setup in favor of the Maui Chums here as Mag's trying to do what he can to push through this garage. Gets taken out on the trade.
We got a 1v1
here right before he dropped, and the 1v1 does go in favor of Wally as both teams kind of split on this garage, this weights as well as glass side of the push. Both teams contesting for the time being. Only one for the side of Maui Chums actually in the hill. Crash as well as Boozies last alive as we say that.
Yeah, that was kind of a staggered, hold from Maui Chums. They couldn't really get the initial time going there. They did, end up with the time after all those traded kills, and they're getting the time they need right now. But they might only come out, like, it might be almost a tie game in a game where it could have been, plus 40 for Maui Chums going into P4. But, they're pushing across the map. They got a good presence. You see player 6 on at that garage side. It's kind of going to be a race. Especially if Crash picks up these kills. There's one spawning laundry, too. This is a huge life. If Boozies can get some kills here, this could be huge for Maui Chums.
That could have really, really opened things up there if you got one more. But unfortunately, players spawning right on top of those stairs. And, they are in a good position here to flank and at least get these spawns as players drop. You'd anticipate Snoop to spawn out of that P3 side, and he does just that, number 7 on your screen. So it looks like spawns are really working in the favor. One shot while he is, and now he drops. Number 5, last alive on your screen, that's going to be Max. He really has to be a nuisance here to stay alive as his team continues to flood in this front side. The trade swing back and forth. We have the Dallas Flat Tires, the first to break that 200-point mark, and they've completely retaken these hill with 15 seconds left to scrap.
Yeah, if we really looked at the minimap right there, that break that they had just then was perfect. That was exactly what I wanted to see out of them. They had a huge pinch coming onto that P5. And, Maui may have the setup going into this P5, but they got a lot of points on that basketball hill that they needed. And this game is kind of far out of their hands right now. Wally picks up a huge kill on the Sync out of hill, and now it's a 2v4. They're getting pinched. They're going to get broke right here, and they do. That's 4 easy down for Dallas Flat Tires, and Maui's might lose this game right here if they can't get some quick kills.
And this is the hill that Dallas Flat Tires were able to get a entirely full 60-second hold on. And so they know exactly the lanes that they need to hold down as Wally gets a 5 streak, currently 10 over his kill death ratio with 5 seconds to go and players pushing through this zig. This map 1 went the way of the Dallas Flat Tires. And, as we look forward to the rest of the series, first of all, really enjoying how close the retakes, trades, and everything like that were for that first map. But I also want to mention, for anyone who might have missed it, Maui Chums are 7-0 in their setup. But with that being said, a lot of these players, throughout the years did come up in that search and destroy scene. And so, like, the natural game sense of search and destroy for both teams is certainly there. And I'd imagine we'd see, those moments shine for both teams here in this Express.
Yeah, well, coming into this Express, I want to see a lot of slow play. I want to see a lot of, strategic right here. I don't want to see head bashing because, that doesn't really turn out for like the most, optimal way to play, especially on a map like this where it's so open. There's a lot of lanes you can work through, and it looks like we're getting an A hit from flat tires off rip, which is something I do like. Boozy's the lone man at A right now. He's gonna have to fight an army, and they're not even coming through this low part. They're all jumping at the top, and he's confused because I'm sure he hears these guys jumping up. Player two is gonna push him out, and I'm expecting Boozy's to get taken out here at some point.
Absolutely, and like you said, that slower play style for both teams is going to be what we see here in this first round. And I think we were saying about this earlier on, where this really just comes down to both teams understanding who they're versing and respecting the fact that the gunnies are going to be tight here. And as you say that, we are in a 3 versus 3 situation, as this top maps area is going to be where the bomb drops, and Mags does pick it up. Eaton does see that player cross, crash in this really, really tight credit corner. Crash jumps out here. Zen gets taken out by Crash. It is now a 2 versus 2 situation. Bomb is being wrapped over to B now as we speak, actually.
Yeah, they saw their situation. They said, let's just take it to B. It's open. Wally's got the whole site, and bad timing though. Eaton might meet up with two right here as he plants the bomb. Looks like he's gonna get taken out, which he does, which puts Wally in a horrible position, needing to take bomb and plant it at the same time with these two players. It doesn't look like it's gonna happen, and he's just playing his life now. He wants defense.
You'd imagine. Oh yeah, he does get the kill here. So in a 1 versus 1 situation, the time was something I did not even consider being, something to keep an eye on here. But yeah, huge play here by Crash. Here's the player of Zen and Lockers, jumps out from that little cruddy garbage pail corner. Ego chows it for the kill and manages to put the team in a position to force that wrap over to B.
Yeah, and real slow first round, ends in no bomb plant, big surprise, but it's exactly what you need to see when you're looking at these players. And you can take an offensive loss every once in a while. It's the first offense of the game. It's not a big deal. But let's try to bounce back here for flat tires, and they're picking up a 2-piece off rip.
Yeah, Snoop doing a great job coming through that ticket area booth in the front. Knows that players like to challenge this. There's area Crash in a 1 versus 2 against Wally and Mags, the AR and sub-dominant players of both of these rosters, and they knew exactly where to round. All they needed to do was get a team shot on, and they did just that as we head into this round 3.
Yeah, looking at that push from Maui Chums, I really don't like it, if I'm going to be honest. I really like what Flat Tires gave us in that first round. They're trying to, play, slow, get some information going, but, Maui just said, let's just go tunnels. It was one of those callouts, and that's where they went, and they got kind of shredded, if I'm going to be honest, by Snoop in particular.
Absolutely. You had both players kind of focusing their attention on that bomb heady and didn't think to look up the mid-side of map, and that was to their detriment, unfortunately. We're on board with Snoop here. Snoop doing a good job so far for his team, a pretty neutral 3-2 life count after 2 rounds of play. And that first blood, who is it going to go down to? We have players jumping around this top maps area. And again, we're seeing this kind of slow push setup out of the way of the Dallas Flat Tires.
Yeah, but it looks like Maui's more quick to, respond to it. They are rotating quick. And while Boozy's might get caught out right here, you got 2 players, backing them up. One up top and Sync down here trying to get a couple picks right here so they can't get bombed down so quick. Crash jumps in and gets taken out on some bad timing. I don't know if we saw that, but, Sync needs to get a kill right here if he wants to win this round, which he does. He's looking for some more.
And Mags is just hoping this player will come out and peek to chow him. Doesn't do just that, and so he knows that this player has to still be in lockers, and he doesn't get a shot on him, some information. So number 6 in your screen, I don't know that he has been called out yet. He certainly has now that he's gotten some shots down. Wally just really being a nuisance here and getting a flank, and he is jumping around though, so can he get the timing that he needs on these players? He's on the opposing side of this train. I think that at this point it would be smart for these players to either try to put bomb down or rotate, and Wally gets one here and train. The information is there. Eaton jumps up.
Gets the bomb
Gets
down.
the
Eaton trying to
one.
get another Wally in a 1v1 against Eaton. And, you know, we got a interesting 1v1 coming right here. He's looking at him, and he just reads him right there.
And he picks that up, Eaton, in a 1 versus 2. Yeah, we apologize for stream if it looks a bit odd there on that train. That is a, yeah, Rainbow Roads bug. Brown Mama said it best. That is wild.
I want that on a
hope that
camo.
I was gonna say, are the players seeing that? Do we know? I really hope not. Okay. Sounds like
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
only for the
podcasting
one
glitch,
person.
and unfortunately, look at that on the train.
It's pretty
That's
crazy.
wild.
We're going to do our best to keep it away from you guys. But, you know, looking at this next offense, you know, I honestly didn't expect Maui Chums to win that round. It was kind of a huge two-piece out of Eaton, similar to, you know, what Snoop did on that other round. But, you know, we got more head bashing. It's 2v3 right now. Boozy, we're sinking Boozies. Pick up 1, pick up 2. That's some great bait and switchery right here. 2.357 Magnums, trying to get a trade in. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff going down here at this site, and it ended in a 2v1, gets taken down. That was a very fast round, and I couldn't even tell what was happening.
Yeah, man, and this is like, that's kind of what we were saying earlier. This back and forth is kind of like, when there's an aggressive push on one team, it seems to be equally matched by the other, and vice versa in some of these slow plays. You know, but I keeping in mind, right, that this Maui Chums team is 7-0, and they've completely dominated every other team so far this season with a spread of map counts. I'm not sure specifically how many they've lost, but it's not very many, considering there's been 7 weeks of play.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at what Dallas have been giving us, though, is I'm very, like, I expect them to win an offensive round right here, and I can't say the same out of Maui Chums, you know. Dallas is consistently going A, trying to get the bomb down, you know, they're making their way downtown, and Maui Chums have just been, you know, head bashing B, which is, you know, the one thing we said we didn't want to see out of them. We want players to take their time and get some info before they make a play.
Sure, and you know, making their way downtown, walking fast as Wally gave up this kind of flank positioning. It's gonna be number 4 on your screen. He's actually pushed up again towards mid-map. He's gonna maybe catch this player here, number 5, at a weird mid-push, but he doesn't, unfortunately, and gets called out. Sync takes him out, and just like that, a 1 versus 3 situation for Zen, and Zen gets picked out and unfortunately taken down. The defuse coming in for the Maui Chums, and just like that, after 5 rounds of play, we do see a lead get taken back by the Maui Chums, and really, this has been back and forth, right? Maui Chums won the first one, Flat Tires won the second round, and it's been back and forth and wins ever since.
Yeah, we got a lot of defensive wins right here, but, you know, as we said, we're seeing more out of the Dallas right now. But, you know, at the same time, you know, right there in that push, you know, Boozies was a key player. He needed to get killed if Dallas wanted to win that round, and they just couldn't find the kill. You know, he was hugging those walls, you know, playing like a rat, like we were saying what we wanted, and, you know, they ended up winning the round. But, you know, we're getting a different push out of Maui Chums this time, and they get a first blood instantly, which is what I love to see. And, you know, they're going to have to focus a lot of their attention to that mid-map because they don't know they're coming A yet.
Absolutely. No players really called out just yet, as players do start to push through this A side. We do see one got called out. Boozy challenges and gets taken out. Snoop anticipating the positioning perfectly. There's a 3 versus 3 situation now. Bomb down just outside of that offensive side of lockers. The only players that are close now have receded back to the spawn as Snoop takes out another player, Zen, as well. And just like that, a 1 versus 3 situation for the Maui Chums.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna be honest there. Snoop had the biggest bailout kill I've ever seen in my life. You know, he put himself in a really bad situation shooting at that guy top train. Boozy's chows, and he just smokes him. And, you know, keeps the round alive. If he loses there, they basically have a 4-on-1 at the B site. And so basically that kill won them the round right there. If he hadn't won that, it would have been easily an offensive round.
Absolutely, I agree, and especially putting Bomb down in the position that it was. The players of the Maui Chums knew that bomb was down, and they knew that we just needed to kind of set up They had that one player at B kind of re-wrap through that B over to A and managed to pick up 2 on the top of Zen. So overall, great round by the Dallas Flat Tires as we are on board now with Snoop. Snoop has been going off these last 2 rounds on a 2 streak at the moment, 6 and 5. Imagine he hears some players below him, currently has the bomb in his possession. Again, we're seeing another slow push by the Dallas Flat Tires on this A side. Nobody peeked out yet as we say that. Zen is taken out. Boozy gets one as well. It is now a 2 versus 4 to the side of the Maui Chums. And just like that, Wally with one of his own. And back and forth we go. As the defending side of this round, Maui Chums are now up 3-1 in the life count. And if they win this round, it is going to be another defensive round win. And after 7 rounds in a row, we are seeing it entirely winning on the defensive side of the map. Is ridiculous.
Yeah, and is it because of a lack of, creativity coming from the players on these teams? They're really actively getting close to these offensive rounds. We haven't seen an offensive round be not close. I would argue that maybe that wasn't close, but there was still like so many kills that were, just inches from going, Dallas Flat Tires' way. I can only imagine like this offensive round is like a bubble that is ready to burst. Somebody's just going to win an offensive round and just take the rest of the game. And, looking at it right now, I really like what Maui Chums have going into this round. They have a lot of presence on this low side, and Snoop is the only one that can stop it right now.
Right, as we say that, if we're looking at the life spread of around maybe 11 situation, right? It's interesting to see where we're at after this round, but at the moment, the Dallas Flat Tires are only up by now 1 kill, I believe. It's now even. So this has been back and forth so close and steady the entire map so far as we're on board now with Mags with a huge kill, putting it in a 1 versus 2 situation. Crash attempting to challenge this player is still weak, and he does. Zen last alive in a 1 versus 1 against Crash. This is the story of our 2 flex players for both rosters.
Let's see. Time counting down. He does not have a lot of time left, and Zentrix knows where he's coming from, but he snuck past him. He does not know he's on the bomb right now, but maybe he has an inkling. He catches him, and another defensive win, and it's 4-4, baby.
This is just about as close as you can hope for in the Gold Premade Semifinals, as both of these teams fighting for their opportunity for Chumps next week. We're on board with Mags. Mags doing a pretty neutral job here for the side of Dallas Flat Tires at 4 and 5, but fortunately, doing exactly what's necessary there in that last round, picking up that crucial kill there in Terminal. Crash gets pre-fired by the ARs of the Dallas Flat Tires, as there really isn't a huge amount of contention here on this staircase as trades are coming through. But number 7 on your screen is going to be key for me. He's kind of overseeing everybody here. Pushes up Boozies, gets away with his life now in a 1 versus 2 situation, forcing players, to pick up this bomb and try to retake. And you'd imagine at this point they try to get the plant off because they're up lives and maybe they've caught this player off guard, but it's tough to say.
I really don't like the situation they're putting themselves in here. That it looks like they're about to take this solo fight, but as I say that, he goes to plant the bomb down. And this, it looks like a good setup coming out of Flat Tires. But this is Boozy's amazing opportunity to keep this game alive. This would be the first offensive win that we've been looking for. They don't want to go down 5-4 in this situation. He interacts with Wally a little bit, and he doesn't know where the other guy's coming from. Or he has an idea, maybe.
Yeah, which is so difficult because he's I think anticipating this pinch to come through. He's just not sure from which location. And he does get kind of pinched from behind there. And so our first offensive win going the way of the Dallas Flat Tires. And I want to agree with what you said, right? Because at least if they don't win this next round, I'll do the math here in a moment, but if they don't win this next round, they may be in a pretty good position to get that defensive win in round 11.
Well, if I'm going to be honest here, I expect Dallas Flat Tires to win this, this defense because I haven't liked what I've been seeing out of the offense of the Maui Chums. They've been hitting B a lot. And, now if they try to hit A, which it looks like they're going to do, they don't really have a lot of, knowledge of this A site. They haven't been able to get over there and, see what they even have set up over there. Because, you got Magnums here, but, if you get a kill here, what's next? They don't know exactly what they're looking at here, and they're going to try to make a push right here.
Yeah, that knowledge is so important as Max gets the first blood. Gets traded by Crash. And just like that, a 2 versus 3 in favor of the Maui Chums, who are fighting to hold on to this search and destroy round, as they need to win this round to force around 11. Currently Dallas Flat Tires in a position here to close it out, as they are defending this bomb site. Number 3 on Snoop in your map made it significantly more difficult here for Zen, as Zen is forced to win this huge first gunfight here, but also fend off 2 players who I anticipate will begin to start planting soon. That nade coming through for formation doesn't hit Zen. Fortunately for him, he manages to get that nade off, as at least knows that players are still collected around that bomb. It looks like he's going to try to retake here through mid. Players do not know where he is yet. May start to hear him. He jumps up the train, looks the wrong direction. Unfortunately, Maui Chums closing it out, and I believe with that put the life advantage in favor of Maui Chums. They were down by 3 lives at the beginning of the round. They managed to get 4 kills there, and yeah, so forget everything I just said because I was wrong.
Yeah, we get another offense out of Maui Chums, and I would just like to point out that, we went the whole game. We went 8 rounds without seeing a single offensive win, and then, the last 2 rounds we get 2 in a row to send it to 5-5, and now they're heavy stacking A, and they picked right. This is the blind counter of the century from Dallas.
Absolutely, and you see the aggression a lot more aggressive push from both teams on this A point as compared to the rest of the game. They understand how important this intro blood is going to be, as both players on each team get weak. Mags gets his first kill, gets traded out here, top map Zen right on his shoulder to potentially get these players as they push through, and really just a back and forth opening as Wally does get a huge one of his own. So far it's a 2 versus 3 lives in the advantage of the Dallas Flat Tires.
Yeah, and the rough part looking at this is Eaton is still looking for the player on flank that does not exist. He's putting Boozies here in a 1v2 situation on this bomb site, and somebody has to make a play now, and Boozies knows it has to be him. He has to find the perfect seam right here to find this single kill to even it up, even if they can.
Right, and they're spending a really, really long time here with only 25 seconds left. You don't want to make it... I'm going to wait a second here. Yeah, one player gets taken out. And just like that, the Dallas Flat Tires close it out as they go up 2 maps in this series over an undefeated Maui Chums here, 7-0. How are you feeling so far about
Maui
this
does
series?
have insane gunny, which we can all agree upon, but Dallas Flat Tires have been really playing the game, strategically. They're thinking about their decisions, and they're executing them perfectly. And looking at it right now, Maui Chums trying to make a B push. They get taken out instantly by Wally. Takes down 1, and they're kind of pinched in the back of the map right now. They're not even able to go toward B, which was what they wanted to do.
Yeah, and I think this, unfortunately, is going to get closed down immediately as the stack is coming through on this B point, which you don't see very often here in the initial push. Mags getting 2, Wally one of his own, so 3 dead for the side of the Maui Chums. And just like that, players are forced to spawn on this A stack. And so, we kind of saw that earlier where the kills unfortunately came through for the opposing team on that point, but these spawns in their favor now as another 3 drop on this time on the side of the Dallas Flat Tires. And we're going to see this A tick come through as players begin to push through to the spawn traps.
Yeah, we all know the drill. On Maui control, go die B and go pick up A, because you're going to spawn right there. And looking at it right now, they have a good chance to, collapse upon this hill. Crash can't pick up Wally top bedroom, which is a huge kill, but, they still had that opportunity right there. And they're still trying to make some noise here in the kitchen. The Boozy Sync sub duo, the deadly duo in kitchen, are taking down all the kills. They can't get any control of that point of the map, and so they have all of mid just to be able to run straight through.
Yeah, and run straight through they did. And number 3 and 2 in your map really just being a nuisance here in the spawn. 2 and 5 is going to be a huge gunfight for both of these players. 5 on your map. Mag reads this player jungle. Eaton gets taken out. Spawns are safe. And just like that tick is D-ticked on that B spot. Sync going off huge, and Kitchen gets 1, not able to get the second. Snoop heads into this money window as players continue to flood this point. Wally getting one of his own. Crash with a huge kill to kind of start to open up this lane for these players. Unfortunately, gets taken out. I do want to point out Wally on an 8-3, then with a slow start. But the players of both teams starting to go off as we say that, Wally on a 5 streak of his own, starting to work towards some of these streaks.
Yeah, if you look at the Wally plays, he really knows where he wants to be on the map. He has that in-game knowledge to a T, especially on this game. And, I'm expecting a lot from him. These lives are still in Maui's favor. As soon as I say that, though, it gets taken down. And it's 9 to 10 right now. They still have a lot of time, though, especially as Eaton comes into the back of Kitchen right there to pick up one. If he can pick up this player 7, we might get a huge, breakdown in this Kitchen area, but he gets the kill, and, they secure that defensive side. I really expect them to win this out unless they can break very quickly here.
Absolutely, the life advantage going, pretty evenly split here. We anticipate it's going to come down to this last push of players as Wally continuing to spawn trap. He gets another Ian. That's 4 dead for the side of the Maui Chums now. No chance here as 2 seconds tick down. Dallas Flat Tires showing that they are, ready to take on this undefeated Maui Chums roster.
Yeah, and Maui shouldn't kick themselves over that because it was an offensive round. They could have started off the map super good, but Wally takes over as he does sometimes. And if they can bounce back on this defensive side, I don't expect much. I expect a 1-1 after this match, and I expect Zentrix to pick it up too. They won the round, so we couldn't have been doing anything wrong, and that's the way I look at it, especially when I'm on a rough start.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that he knows that, right? And he knows that he needs to turn up, and he is one of those players that is certainly capable of doing that. As just as we say that, caster curse comes through every time, taken off, and we won't really point him out too much more. Make sure he gets some of his mojo back here. Sync with a huge 2, make that 3-piece onto Wally, and that's 1 tick coming down on the side of the Dallas Flat Tires, and on offensive start that is not really as high a velocity or fast of a push as it was on the Maui Chum side. And it looks like, as we say that, these trades are coming through. Wally is trying to fish up this mid, open stairs area, gets taken out by Sync. Sync going off completely, currently on a 4 streak of his own as these spawns start to get pushed out by the Maui Chums. Flat Tires having a difficult time getting out of this spawn as we do see signs of life coming out of our buddies in there.
Yeah, and a really staggered push around the map. Magnus picks up 1A to open up the site, which I do like, but you don't have a lot of focus on one site here. But they're picking up that 8 point, so the distraction worked. They're probably gonna pick up this 8 point and work toward that B. They are down in lives, which is not a good look for them. But all it takes is 1 break, especially on raid. If you get 1 break, especially when you're getting kills like that, easy kills, you get easy control over the map, which is what's most important.
Absolutely. Now, as we're on board with Wally here, you can see on the bottom right-hand corner that he's both of his streaks. He just got taken out, but he was able to get both of his streaks before dropping. And so we'd anticipated that at some point those will certainly come into play, as we see now that A point had been captured, 1 tick down on this B. The life advantage going in favor of the defending side of the Maui Chums. But really, this is anyone's game still at this point. I do feel like we are going to see a coordinated push out of the Dallas Flat Tires here to take, at least another tick on this B point. And as we say that, 2 drop on the side of Maui Chums as their push really starts to develop here.
Yeah, and we see Wally calling those streaks there, and it's going to shove a lot of players in that basketball area, which is, something that Max doesn't want, but they all know that he's there. Doesn't pick up anything with the streaks either. That might have been a tough streak usage. I would like to see them, get fully together when they call in those streaks. I don't want a staggered streak push, because then that just makes for a bad push. But they're gonna regain here. They're down 15 to 9. They can still win this round easily, in my opinion. Especially with Mags picking up kills like that. They're trying to focus on this back area and this kitchen area. Wally picks up 1, really pinching in that player kitchen. He's gonna try to get 1, which he does. Sync makes a big play. They pick up 3, so that leaves Snoop as the only one in kitchen, the only one able to make a play in this situation.
Right, and the players of the Maui Chums are stacked at this B point. Look at those 2 players, 1 Tiki, 1 basketball, kind of both laid down and play headies against. And so I anticipate, like you said, the subs to kind of be flying out and frying and can at least contesting the time. And as we said that, we're gonna be on board here at the start with Eaton. Eaton, an AR player for this side. He's gonna get to this box heady quick off the rip, looking for this player to be peeking up top generators here in this mid alley. Wally in the power position, top tank, as it looks like exactly what we said before. It's pretty contest heavy here on this first hill, But the early setup, honestly, going the way of Maui Chums because they do have this player and crash on this top area. And as we say that, 4 down for the side of the Dallas Flat Tires. And, this early lead really looking like it's going to work in the favor of this Chum side.
Yeah, and if I'm looking at a player right now to, step it up and, close this game out for the Flat Tires, I'm looking at Zentrix with that Ekaj clan tag. He is repping the set, and hopefully he can bring it back to, be a huge player in this hard point in order to win it for the Flat Tires. But right now, Maui Chums making the right plays on the map. They're already rotating. Player 6 right now trying to hold it down, and he catches Snoop going P3 or P2, and they should be set up going into this next hard point.
Yeah, man, they got the rest of that scrap. They got the early rotation. They got the setup crash on this heady. Has 2 to beat as Zen and Wally both push through. Wally knows that spot. He's the AR player as well. Gets picked off. Unfortunately, Crash with a huge 2-piece. And now 3-4 dead for the side of the Dallas Flat Tires. This, they know these players are stacked out pushing this generator P3 side. And they're going to be uncontested for another 5 or 10 seconds.
Yeah, and you see Boozy's doing a little slide cancel out there on top green just to check where they all are. He sees them all running down artillery, so they all know exactly where they are right now. This is an easy, 30 seconds for Maui Chums, and it's going to start the game out looking at like around 70 to 7. And that's not a good start, especially when you have Dallas Flat Tires players spawning out back at hold, and now Maui Chums have the rotation going into P3.
Absolutely, and this is where things start to fall apart with Crash on a 5 streak. Does get taken out, unfortunately, but I want to give a shout out to KMZ for shooting that little nugget of insight there with Wally saying that they don't feel as comfortable on this Garrison hardpoint as compared to the other ones. We do see a few players on the side of the Maui Chums starting to get a pretty hot start here. Honestly, all players, with the side of Simp being neutral, at least with time in the hill. But we do see spawns. We do see time going in favor of the Maui Chums. Honestly, there's really nothing to break down here, at the exception of these rotations coming in early enough, and they're managing to hold the time as players flood to retake this hill.
Yeah, and this like good push, maybe coming in at an awkward time for Dallas Flat Tires. They pick up 24 seconds, which, is important in the grand scheme of things. But, they're not going to be able to regain across the map to get fully comfortable on a push with these Maui Chums in the position they are. They're really in good spots right now. They know where they want to be. You got Sink in lower area. Boozy's picking up kills on Tools area. Crash picking up the middle. They're set up for more easy points here, Sadman, and I'm expecting them to get a lot.
Yeah, Boozy's having a game that we would anticipate out of him as a player. Had a little bit of a slow match earlier in the control in this last map that we just saw on stream. And so, the trades again coming back and forth, set up in the time being, going the way of Dallas Flat Tires as they do start to push out these spawns a little bit. Crash and Co forced to push into this mid spot as green is completely controlled and taken up by the side of Dallas Flat Tires. They know now that players are spawning out on this P3 side. Max turns around, sees 2, almost gets the scrap going the way of the Maui Chums, and it looks like, if you look at the screen here, the early spawn is set up for the side of the Dallas Flat Tires. Number 1 and 2 on your screen are already set up for new. Number 3 and 4 likely waiting for the rotation to come through this green side.
Yeah, while we say that, it is 61 to 126, but all Dallas Flat Tires need right here is a really good hold on
Boozy spawned.
Yeah,
sorry, they split spawns coming through. So I'm not sure if they know this player is here yet.
It might make for a very easy break coming in from Maui, and it looks like it does. They get that blessed back spawn. They pick up all 4 kills, only dropping 1. Now they know that they're in the spawn trap. Eaton picks up that easy kill on the Wally, and now it's a huge staggered push from Dallas Flat Tires.
Absolutely, they know that these players are spawning out this tank side, and they want these players to be spawning on this tank side. So easy to pick off these players on these headies available to them on the point, and they have done just that. As with 20 seconds to go, they've managed to retake and hold plenty of time, if not all, or a majority of the time, as we see Sync on your screen. Number 5, if we could hop on with him, number 6 kill streak now as he starts to rotate over to this P1 side. He's now on a 7 kill streak. He has his artillery. He's 1 away from his cruise missile. I forgot exactly what that streak was for a moment. really all the time and setup in favor of this Maui Chum side is, Sync working for that cruise, but he's still hopping in hill and getting the kills that he needs.
Yeah, he got the kill. He gets the cruise missile. He has 2 streaks right now, and this is something we have not seen this series at all. I mean, up until this point, this series has been back and forth, back and forth. But, Maui Chum's going up 110 points with hill control. They can, bring it out to, they could possibly 100-point club Dallas Flat Tires going into this map 5. And that's not something you want. That is, the worst possible situation when you're getting reverse swept. So they need to pick up some kills right now, and they need to get these points and rotate through these hills if they want to be close.
Dude, Sync is on an 11 kill streak before he drops. That is ridiculous with a minute and 40 seconds on the hill. He's absolutely showing up for your team when it's necessary. And just like the first set of hills, Maui Chums with the early setup here, they've passed that 200-point mark. They're closing in on 210 quickly as players for the side of the Dallas Flat Tires continue to drop on our screen. They are forced out on these P3 caution side spawns as they know players are likely contesting this green area. Crash and Eaton take out 3. Spawns continue to push out as number 4, Wally, does manage to get some of this time. Players did not anticipate that player to still be lingering, but these contestants do come through, and they cannot win on this hill, so we are going to see another P3.
But look at player 5, sad man. Eaton has gotten all the way to the back of the spawn. They find out he's here. He picks up 1. He doesn't get the other. Ecoj Zentrix gets the kill. And, they're in a good spot here. That was a huge break from Wally to, get the game. Just, the time's going to go a little longer. They're not going to get 100-point club like we were talking about. And they can get some good time on this P3 to get back into this game and, increase morale if it does go game 5. And, if they do something crazy, they can end up winning.
Right, and so far so good as far as the Maui Chum retake on this point. I hope that with the lead that they had, they wouldn't force any unnecessary pushes on this point. It looks like they've done just that and retaking in a strategic manner. They continue to keep spawns as Mags does what he can to contest for the time being. Zen and Huge Wally last alive to do what he can to maintain this hill, but really, with 10 seconds left on their clock, it's going to come down to this last interaction, and it looks like the kills going in favor. Both teams trading each other out. This player here, last alive, Snoop, gets traded as well, and Wally does pick up the time, and so they are not going to win on this hill either. We're going to see another P4, and the players on the side of Dallas Flat Tires know they need to make sure that none of this scrap gets picked up by Maui, but also they need to rotate and lock down this point.
Yeah, Snoop is in a big position here. If he can't get this kill, it might be rough. He does end up getting the kill as the player was one shot, and Dallas Flat Tires have control of the point. They can get something out of this. They have to hold every single second of this very scrappy hill in order to keep it moving. Zentrix picks up a nice entry kill to, make it, smooth, but Boozy's just fries Snoop off the map. That's a huge kill. Sync gets the cruise missile kill, and Maui's in the point. Crash knows where he is. They might close this out right now. Sync in the hill. Crash tries to pick up 2. Crash does, and it's all blue in the kill feed, and they win the map.
And just like that, Gold Premade COD Rec League Season 3 heads to a map 5. You couldn't ask for anything more, honestly, with these two teams.
Yeah, and very surprised looking at that 124 to 250 margin on that scoreline. Everybody was going up for Maui Chums. You had Sync double positive.
Flat Tires falling in reverse sweep in the first week of matches for their only loss the entire season, and so hopefully they don't, get one here as we hop into this search and destroy.
Yeah, just to point out, Dallas Flat Tires has been 18-1 over their last 6 matches map count, and they have lost 2 maps in this series. So that's how close it is so far. Maui Chums also 7-0, and Crash gets the first blood onto Wally H side. That opens up that whole side of the map, and I'm sure he's going to call it out to his teammates, and they might make the rotation over there, but that's a huge kill.
In those, first blood's so crucial and in the pacing of the rest of this game. It's allowed for open positioning at the B point as nobody really focusing on this point. I know Mags is watching the play for information, but it's possible that the player number 2 on our screen, Crash, is actually starting to hear some of these players out mid.
Yeah, so what we saw happen there is after Wally dies A side, Zentrix rotates from Laundry to pick it up. You would love to see somebody maybe mid of the map go over to that A side to back it up because, B is such a heavy bomb site, but they still haven't been able to get it down yet. Stuck in a 2v1 situation, Zentrix is looking to make the clutch here with the bomb going down B.
It's wild to think that Eaton was able to, or Sink was able to push bomb all the way to their spawn before deciding to put the bomb down, but, you know, uh, it worked in their favor. Bombs down, 2v1 situation, then in a position to, force this retake. Players know exactly where he is in this top R. You see number 4 on your screen. Sink is just kind of trolling along this pillars area, watching the cross, and he does get the information. Smart to play his life here as the player top Laundry takes out Zen, and just like that, first round of the potential reverse sweep goes in the favor of Maui Chums.
Yeah, and similar to what I said before the round started, I was expecting Maui Chums to, get a win on some of those scrappy offenses. They ended up doing so even after, maybe not even the best round that they could have strung together. Putting the bomb down super late, being in a rough situation, but they still ended out winning, and that's got to be rough looking into round 2. Look at Dallas. They're just trying to 4-hit B off rip, and I'm not sure this is going to work because there's 2 people over here.
Yeah, and Snoop, with the bomb in hand, there is one on this raid point. Sink gets one, and Snoop, he knows that there's one more here. Boozy, unfortunately, one shot from that nade. It looks like it's gonna be a 1 versus 1 here as they start to run around this area. The sub duel of Mags versus Boozies goes the way of Mags. It is now a 2 versus 3. Make that a 1 versus 3 for Zen. Zen again, as history repeats itself, forced to clutch up in a 1 versus 3 situation. Obviously knows that bomb's down on the point, but unfortunately gets taken out there in the back spawn of that back Laundry kitchen side, and 2 rounds in favor of Maui Chums.
Yeah, Maui Chums is just honestly this unstoppable force of momentum right now, pulling from that map 3 to the map 4 into this map 5. They're up 2-0. If they can win this offense, it's looking really bad for Dallas right now. If I'm going to be honest, I need something huge to happen right now. And I need something drastic to happen in this round in order to take Maui off that horse that they're riding of momentum that they have right now.
Yeah, as we're on board with Sink here, 3 kill streak of his own after 2 rounds, keeping a pretty steady average. You can see as he starts to work towards streaks with bomb in hand, the life advantage here with the first blood going in favor of the Maui Chums as well as the second blood. It is now a 2 versus 3 situation as Wally does start to even up the playing field here with a kill of his own. Wally, as we're on board with him, going up this top cutout area, he's attempting to flank and kind of get some better positioning to allow his team to push on to this B area.
Wally cannot pick up that kill into Crash. That's a huge opportunity for him to give up. He needs to get that kill there. They need to look for a free kill right now if they want to end up winning this round. And it doesn't look like Maui's going to give it to them. They're really in these, big head glitches. He gets a free kill onto Wally, puts it in the 3v1, gets the kill top Laundry. It was just textbook out of Eaton. He knew exactly where they were coming from.
Right, and we said that earlier too, right, in the first series with Leafs. These AR players know exactly where to anticipate the positioning on these setups, right? And I think that Eaton has proven that on his side of things all series long. Continues to slay out and manages to put the team up 3-0. This is kind of what we were saying earlier. I'd hope that Dallas Flat Tires, with the roster that they have, is not getting down on themselves and is still, fighting back to maintain some of this control. But it looks like Eaton has read this perfectly as he is set up for this A push. It looks like, the rest of the players now start to rotate as this information comes through. Crash gets taken out in the first bloods from Mags. It is now a 3 versus 4 situation. Bomb in hand of Snoop. Snoop is going to likely attempt to stretch this plant, it seems like, if I'm not mistaken. He looks like he's at least playing information, and bombs down there at those bottom stairs. And I believe it has been called out.
Yeah, Boozies picks up 1 into Snoop in mid-map. Zentrix picks up 1 big basketball court, and that's huge to, open up this A site and put them in a 2v3. Sink picks up Zentrix, makes it a 2v2, but they have a lot of information, and they really don't know where these players are right now. They have an idea one's in Tiki, but Wally's sitting here being sneaky. They have no idea he's here, and I expect Wally to pick up a kill in order to win this round. But if someone gets taken out right here, that's not looking good for Dallas.
Yeah, what I'm anticipating is that players are going to probably look this top mansion side for the peak and not really know that he's bottom. He does get called out now as Boozy's close enough for this trade as Wally is weak. It looks like he's trying to contest in this match inside. They're just kind of playing ring around the rosy here as both players jump from top to bottom to top to bottom. And Mags with a huge two-piece to close it out. So, some signs of life here in this map 5. Dallas Flat Tires do get around of their own, so they're only down by 2 now. This is kind of the momentum we need to see heading into these, rounds as they progress. Is, in my opinion, this next round is huge for Dallas Flat Tires. They do not want to go down 3 rounds again, and I think a round win here is going to be huge for their confidence moving forward.
Yeah, that was a big offensive win coming out of Dallas. Going down 4-0 is not something you want to do in any single map. But so, making it 3-1 and putting themselves in a good, position in this defensive round, is good for them. Crash picks up a solo kill though. Mags picks up 1 on the other side, Zig. And, this is looking to be a real scrappy round. Boozy pushes straight in, gets Mags, and now it's a 3v2 situation. All on that B bomb site though, so it's looking to be a good 2v3 situation. Snoop throws his life away though from White Truck. I do not like that at all.
Yeah, but unfortunately, with that, Zen is in another 1 versus 3 situation, and I mean, maybe if you can get this player Zig, unfortunately. I was going to say, if you get that player Zig, maybe you can work on retaking this B spot, but, he does drop, and the round goes in favor of the Maui Chums, so they're up 4-1.
Yeah, Wally's been consistently getting caught out on this A side of the map, and I need him to play his life a little more if I want Dallas to win this series. You can't have Wally getting first blooded. He needs to be somewhere on the map for you. He's probably one of the best players on Dallas Flat Tires right now, and he's not doing enough from his position to, warrant round wins. They need to make plays together. They need to, play their lives in order to keep this moving.
Early kills, it looks like, trades are coming through, but the round advantage pretty even position here for both teams. Bomb in hand of Mags, and they are down that 1 player, but it looks like they're pretty well spread, honestly, to get some information, as it looks like players think that there's going to be a rewrap to A. They've completely given up on the B site, and this could be the opportunity that Mags needs to pick off the run and rotate. It looks like he might have maybe faked the kill cam and started to go towards B, but decided to stay here in the midpoint. Nobody else challenging him, as it looks like players on the side of the Maui Chums have elected to do their split setup here, A and B, as now, with no players over on the A side, the retake on this B bomb by Eaton and Sync is coming through on a pinch. Mags, I believe, might have got information on 1, and it looks like Bomb is going down. And he gets taken out by that nade from Top Laundry of Eaton. So it's a 1 versus 2 situation for Snoop. Bomb down, and he needs to do this in 15 seconds.
Yeah, as we've been seeing from this, this series, Eaton has been playing his role perfectly. He's exactly where he needs to be on the map. Snoop's not going to end up winning this round, but, Eaton doing all he needs, gets the last kill as well. He's been playing, he doesn't have a flashy play style. He's getting those kills that he needs to get. He's in the right spots. He's making the right plays. He's exactly the type of player you want on your team, and he's picking up the gunnies.
And the train just hasn't stopped in these last few maps. It seemed like at some point pretty late in the series, after those 2, something reignited in the mind of the Maui Chums. They started really playing to the potential that we expect out of a team that is 7-0 heading into this first playoffs. As we start to head into this round 7 of things, we are on board here with Snoop. Looks like the first blood going the way of the Maui Chums, but right now it is a pretty even 2 versus 2 split. And this is for the series contestant. This is for the
And Crash picks up the 2-piece to
Maui
win the
Chums
game.
closes it out.
Crash
Oh,
went crazy
man.
that map. I would
just
love to
like
see
that.
how many. Go ahead.
Go ahead, finish what you're saying.
I would love to see how many first bloods Crash got that map, because he had so many and the big 3 kills in the last round. And as we say that,